lovely Libra! Welcome to July. This is Gwendolyn. Welcome back to the channel, or if it's your first time here, welcome. This video is going to be a monthly Tarotscope for Libra. I have Magician jumping out, so good month for manifestation for some of you. And I'm going to talk a little bit about what's going on in the sky while I shuffle, but I want to make a couple announcements first, which I'll talk more about at the end of the video. I'm going to be having a Kickstarter soon for this old Hollywood tarot deck that I'm creating, and if you want to get in on that, I'll put a link below when that Kickstarter campaign is active. I've got Charlie Chaplin as the Fool, Steve Reeves as Magician, Lillian Gish as the High Priestess. So again, I'll talk more about that at the end of the video. And then also I have a promo going on at the beginning of July for my 3-card readings. I'm offering those for $10 for the first 25 people who book it, and then it'll go back up to its $15 price. I'll have a link above if you want to book one of those. But as far as what's going on in the sky, Libra, we have a new moon in Cancer in your 10th house on July 12th. So 10th house is all about your career, your status, your reputation, how you show up in the outer world, your vocation. And with a new moon, it's a good time to begin something new. So if you would like to begin something in terms of your career, like maybe a new cycle, a new development, a new level of immersion in your current career, or potentially even a new career, new moon in your 10th house is a perfect time to begin that. And this new moon has some interesting aspects going on. It's opposing Pluto, which is retrograde in Capricorn. And what that can sometimes bring up is power struggles, ego battles, people striving for domination. It can be confronting of the things that have control over us, or seeming control over us. And the Sabian symbol for 21 degrees is a prima donna singing. So there can be this sort of like dramatic factor to it. But also in the sky on that day is a trine with all the earth signs. We have Uranus in Taurus, we have Saturn in Capricorn, and we have Venus in Virgo. So there's really a choice to be made during this new moon, which also happens to be a partial solar eclipse, which can bring information to the surface that is not normally available to our consciousness. And it can provide you with like an aha moment regarding your career, or it can show you like where your shadow aspect is. Like maybe you haven't seen something that unlocks for you during this new moon. So maybe you have access to sort of a new vision. It can bring things into your consciousness and show you where your blind spots are. And so there's a choice to be made whether you will engage with any of that Pluto opposition energy, which can be very dramatic. It can, bring a lot of fire to the surface. It destroys everything in its path, but it brings the opportunity for new land, new landscape, new fertile ground. Or your other choice is to just stay grounded and connect with that earth energy that's so abundant and sort of be like an audience member and sit back and watch all the dramas that are playing out on stage. So those are a couple of choices with that new moon in Cancer in your 10th. And then at the end of the month, July 27th, we have a full moon in Aquarius in your 5th house, Libra, and this is beautiful. 5th house is the house of true love, of romance, of passion, and of creativity. So there may be a real spotlight for you on those areas of your life. If you're creating something, there's a spotlight illuminating things there. Some of you may have your creative projects on display, or you may be performing something, like if you've written a play or if you're a musician, great time to be showcasing those to the world. For some of you, it may show up as romance and, you know, a spotlight on your true love. Now, this is interesting because it's a total lunar eclipse, and it's the longest one of the century. It's going to be an hour and 23 minutes long. So what this does is it brings up shadow aspects of our emotions. The moon always relates to our emotions, and it could be that it brings things up to the surface, deep-seated emotions that you have regarding true love or regarding romance, things that need to be released or purged or completed, because full moons have to do with completions, completing of a cycle and releasing things. So for some of you, it may be a good time to examine your love dynamics, because it's sort of like having your emotions come to the surface. So anything to do with true love, with romance, with creativity, even to do with children, things that issue forth from us creatively and expressively. A real focus there, Libra, and it could be a really beautiful, passionate, deep time. It's also called the blood moon, and it can be very profound. So that's some of the things that are going on in the sky. You know, the period between July 12th and July 27th can be challenging because there's so much of that Pluto energy. We're in eclipse season. Things are being brought to the surface, but it can also be very profound. So that's where I'm going to encourage you is to go deep, because there's a lot of stuff happening. It's funny, I just saw lovers under the deck there as I'm shuffling here. So there could be a lot of interesting stuff happening. And let's see what's coming up for you in the cards, Libra. What's information that Libra needs to know this month? I love it. Opening with the star. This is all about hope, renewal, feeling like maybe a difficult time has passed and you feel hopeful. This is also a wish coming true. I often call this card When You Wish Upon the Star. So this is beautiful energy, Libra, to open July with. You may be dealing with an Aquarius. This is the Aquarian card. And this card has to do with self-acceptance, feeling complete, feeling whole and radiant, just as you are, just with no outer trappings. She's as self-accepting and loving of herself and her place in the world just as much as any of the stars, the bird, the tree, the flower, any of the natural elements in this card. That's how it's depicted. So star is beautiful, wonderful energy. It's feeling refreshed, feeling renewed, and also potentially having one of your wishes come true. So I really like that opening for July for you, Libra. And then we move into, I'm seeing healing and recovery here. Is there something that you're healing and recovering from, Libra? Because Six of Swords has to do with going from a difficult patch and moving to smoother seas. So I'm really getting that echoing with the Star card, because this card, Star, comes after Tower, which is usually an upheaval of some sort, restructuring of things, the clearing out of old structures that are no longer serving you, that feel arcane and limiting. And then Six of Swords has to do with moving from these charged, chaotic waters into smoother horizons, calmer shores. It's really a card of recovering and healing. And I often ask in this card, who do you relate to more? Is it that you are helping someone else? Is someone else helping you? Or are you helping yourself out of a difficult situation? I'm really seeing like a lot of clearing waters energy, emotional stability that's coming through here, and just a lot of like refreshing, healing, recovering energy. So that's beautiful. And then you may be in a place where you're just wanting to take a time out. This is Seven of Coins, which is all about patience, letting things develop, waiting for the harvest. And you may be taking some time on making a decision about something. This is Two of Swords, which usually represents indecision, not knowing whether to go left or right. And this can be thinking something over. It can be contemplating, being at a crossroads is really an aspect of both of these cards. So you may be at a crossroads regarding something. It's interesting to see this followed by 8 of coins. We go from 7 of coins to 8 of coins, where maybe you're waiting on something, you're taking a pause while you think things over, and then 8 of coins is when you get to work on something, you take action and become productive with something. Sometimes I call this card making the effort. But I'm seeing here, you know, you Libras, often you're the scales, right? So you often weigh things. And it can be, you see things so diplomatically and fairly usually that you see this side of the thing, but you also see this side of the thing. So sometimes you can go back and forth, and it may just be a time of period and rest where you're evaluating things, where you may be a little bit indecisive, where you're just being patient while you think things over. And then towards the middle of the month, after this new moon, July 12th, is when I see you taking action on something. And I see things opening up for you. You know, Fool is looking at 8 of coins here. And Fool is all about being carefree, being open, smelling that rose of life. He's lighthearted. He's got a great sense of humor. He trusts and has faith in the universe. And he sees life as a grand adventure. It's the 0 card. It's the very first card of the deck, where all things are potential. It's potential energy. So it's a real sense of faith, trust, starting over, having beginner's mind. And I see that, you know, maybe Fool is looking at, I've been putting in a lot of work here. Maybe it's time for me to start over with something. Maybe it's time for me to begin something new. And I really like this in conjunction with your new moon in your 10th house. You know, 10th house is the house of work. It's the house of career. And Fool is saying here, you know, maybe let's consider something new, something that brings me joy, something that makes me feel lighthearted and carefree, as opposed to just feeling like I need to grind everything out. I mean, often this card, 8 of coins, is being happy with your work, you know, whistling while you work, grinding out results, creating something. But I really like Fool's energy looking at him, because it says, you know, I want to do something that's fun. I want to do, how can I incorporate more fun into my work? How can I incorporate a new free attitude, go in a new direction, be open to the spontaneous things that life brings me and incorporate that into my work? So there's really like a lightheartedness that I'm getting for you at the middle of the month in terms of bringing some new fresh energy into your work, Libra. Really liking this for you. And then we also have the moon, actually we have 3 major arcana cards in a row here, along with the opening of the star card, which I'm also seeing for some of you, this could be like you are the star this month. You are the person out on stage, especially with that full moon at the end of the month in your 5th house of creativity. There's good stuff here, especially if you're involved in a creative career. And the full moon showing up here too. This is, the moon card usually shows up when there's some kind of illusion or confusion, or potentially when deep-seated emotions are coming to the surface. So they come to the surface for release and for evaluation. So this card usually depicts the dog and the wolf, which is the left brain and the right brain side of us. You know, this crab or lobster represents very Scorpio and Cancer energy. This is a Pisces card, but it's all water energy. It's all deep-seated emotions that are coming to the surface for evaluation and release. It's about trying to balance your pragmatic, logical, analytical side, which is the dog, the left brain side of us, with the right brain side, which is our irrational, passionate, creative, spontaneous selves. And it says that you may be having a hard time letting those emotions come to the surface. You may have some confusion or illusion or doubt about what it is you're really feeling on a deep level. It may be that you are wanting to have this fresh new energy, but it's really feels murky, or you feel like you can't see through the fog. But I also see that this card, Judgment, is really going to serve you in that. This is a card about second chances, another card about renewal. And this really has to do about letting the baggage of the past go. It really talks about forgiveness. There may be forgiveness towards someone in your family that will really help you. This is letting old stories of the past go. And what this does is it burns away any old karma that you may be carrying and that may be weighing you down. It may be that there's time for a renewal of your life on a spiritual level. And this frees you. You know, it really, these are people who have been in the grave, and it releases their souls up. This is the trumpet of judgment and renewal, and it's got this spiritual fire image which burns away everything from the past. So if you're feeling confused about something, or like you don't know which way to go forward, because this card really is about the path forward through trusting our emotions and letting those come up to the surface. If there is any illusion or doubt or feeling like you don't know what's permanent, what's changeable, what is consistent or inconsistent, use this power of forgiveness. You know, let things go from the past. He's very present in the moment. He's very much like here, just like that little dog, or like children or animals. They're in the present moment at all times, and that's why they're free. They're not bound by the past or the future. So allow that spirit of forgiveness and this spiritual fire and renewal to let you move forward, away from anything that may be clouding your vision, Libra. Because I see there's a truth right in front of you that you may not be wanting to see, or that may be difficult for you to see. This, when I see Ace of Swords in reverse, I often read it as, I'm not trying to hear that. I'm not trying to see that. Because in the upright, Ace of Swords is a new beginning. It's a new revelation. It's an aha moment. It's actually Ace of Swords Day as I'm recording this, July 1st. So this is like the truth cutting through anything that is confusing or full of doubt. This is the I know card. And this is, I call this truth with a capital T. The truth will set you free. The truth being right in front of you. Clarity, vision, a revelation. But in the reverse, it's saying, I don't see it. I don't want to see it. There's a truth right in front of me that I'm trying to avoid. So see if you can remove any doubt, fear, or resistance to accepting and seeing that truth that's right in front of you, that new beginning, that new inspiration, because it'll help balance you. This is Two of Coins, and this means being flexible, adaptable, being, again, has a great sense of humor. I really think, Libra, with these three cards in a row here, recovery and healing, being open, having faith, being foolish in a certain way, and Two of Coins with being flexible and adaptable and having a sense of humor about things, really, really taking things with a grain of salt and being spontaneous and joyful and flexible and adaptable and keeping a sense of humor is really going to help balance you. Two of Coins stands on one foot, and he's juggling. And it can be a card of stress, which it may be in the reverse position with you not acknowledging a certain truth. But if you're able to remove any of your fears, your doubts, or resistance, it makes life carefree and easy. He's saying, watch me juggle this. Watch me do it on one foot. It's easy. Life is fun. I can handle anything you throw at me. So I get the sense, Libra, that if you are able to see the truth that's right in front of you, it actually opens you up to be more flexible, more adaptable, more able to change with the changing circumstances of life. That's what this boat represents on the water here. It goes up and down with the water. There may be a sense that you're trying to hold on to something that you want to be rigid, but really the truth is saying, you know, this is how it is now. This is the moment. This is the present. This is the truth of the present. And by acknowledging that and seeing that, you're able to be more flexible, more adaptable, more functional, and quite frankly, more happy. And it will also lead you to this new thing that the universe wants to hand to you. I'm getting the sense that this is right around that full moon. There's two aces here, and you can kind of see with this Two of Coins that it's almost like a choice between one or the other. Do I want to hold on to not acknowledging a truth, or do I want to receive this new thing? This is an invitation, Libra. It's an invitation to a new thing that the universe wants to give to you. It's an invitation to this new garden. And Ace of Coins can sometimes mean new money, new life, new lifestyle, new job, new relationship. It can be a renewal of a current relationship as well, especially with that full moon in your 5th house of true love and romance. I mean, it could be like saying, here's the gift of love to you. Do you want to receive it? Or do you want to hold on to an old truth? Do you want to hold on to something that you're telling yourself that is not, do you want to continue not seeing a truth that's right in front of you and staying unbalanced? Or do you want to become flexible, adaptable in the current moment and see that, you know, the universe wants to hand you something. There is a new beginning available. And the old part, the old way of thinking is over. It is over. Look at the contrast between these two cards. This is new, fresh energy, something new coming in, an ace. And this is, Ten of Swords is thinking all the thoughts that you used to think that are draining you. This is, Ten of Swords is often a belief system that does not serve us. It's sometimes called negative thinking. And it's a 10, so it's complete. It's also often called the darkest before the dawn. So with these in reverse, all of these swords are having the opportunity to slide out and slide away, completing that cycle, and receiving this new thing, this new love, new passion, new creative inspiration, new money, new job, new work. There's really something good coming to you at this full moon, but you really have to clear the space away, Libra. Clear away all, see if you can identify all these thoughts, beliefs, things that you think you know that really are draining you and draining the life out of you instead of serving you. And when you're able to do that, when you're able to acknowledge, okay, this is an old cycle, this is an old way of thinking, you know, that's keeping me stuck. If I can employ forgiveness and renewal and let the baggage of the past go, here's what's waiting for you. New things, new beginning. You know, universe is handing you something very nice. So I encourage you to look at what's right in front of you at this moment. See if you can really, what a lot of this spread is saying to me is see if you can be in the present. You've done some healing and recovery. There's hope here. And there's also wish fulfillment. If you need to take some time to think things over, that's fine. But you're ready for this new creative, joyful, new beginning, especially as it relates to your work. And if you have feelings that are coming up from the surface, see if you can apply some forgiveness to yourself and others with this card. See the truth that's right in front of you, staring at you in the face that you may not want to face. But if you are able to do that, it'll make you more flexible, more adaptable, more happy-go-lucky, more able to function in the current moment in a humorous way, and receive this new thing and let those old ways of thinking go. So that's my reading for you, Libra. I hope you enjoyed it. Please give it a thumbs up if you did, or share it with another Libra who you think might enjoy it, and feel free to share it on social media. And again, if you want to check out my old Hollywood tarot deck that I'm working on, I'll have a link to the Kickstarter campaign below when it's active. And if you want to get in on one of those promo prices for the 3-card readings, I'll have a link in the top right corner. You can click on that and just email me your question, and I will have it up. I'll have a video up for you within 24 hours. So that's my reading. Hope all of you have a beautiful July, and I will look forward to talking with you soon. Yours in the stars.